Good morning, everybody. Just a quick chat about values. What are values? What are values and how they're different to beliefs? So I've just been going through all my values. It's an exercise that I like to go through. It's an exercise where I go through and dig out what it is that's important to me. And it's also what is important to me in the future. So the difference between values and beliefs. Values are something about how we live our life. It's what we want to have in our life, what we want to have been created, who we want to spend time with. Maybe it's love, maybe it's friendship. For me, love and friendship, time with family, time with friends, time with my kids, those are really important things to me. And it's just been spending some time going through and writing out what are the things important to me and putting them down in an order. Now, what's really exciting about this is actually, why is it important? Because we've got two people that we're talking about here. We're talking about the person that you are right now. What are the things that you are actually valuing in your life right now? You might write down a list of, hey, these are all my values I've got. So number one, having love in my life, having someone amazing, having friends, having stuff like this. Now what we want to do is understand, is that the values that we're living out in our life right now? Is that the values that I'm living in my life right now? Are those the values that I've got in the future? Somewhere in the future, sometime in the future, that's how I'm going to live my life. And that's why it's really important to write it out as two lists. I just wrote out a list. What are my things that I'm living my life as right now? So the way that I live my life, what sort of values would be in line with that? And then in the future, so when I actually am being the person that I want to be, what are my values then? And it's interesting to see the difference. It's really, really worthwhile doing. I just went through and it was just like the way that I want to live my life and the way that I'm living it now. It's not totally out of alignment, but the order of it was quite different. It's actually, I valued it, did 1 to 10 on the order, and quite a few of it was actually flipped. And so it's realizing that I've got to change. The way that I'm living my life right now is different to the way that I want to be living my life in the future. Why is it important? Because we want to be that person. So if I'm going to be that person that's valuing the time with my kids, valuing the time with my friends, valuing friendships, relationships, and all that, I need to be living it now. I can't obtain those things. That's going to be a different person to what I am now. So if I'm living differently to who that person is, I can't be that person. It's not like I'm going to do all this stuff now and then suddenly click, I'm that other person over there. I'm someone else. I'm living a different life. That doesn't work. It's not the same person. I want to change my values now. If my values are to do with friendships, with connections, talking to people, spending time around friends, going out doing fun activities, loving my life, then I need to do it now. I can't go, I'm just going to be Mr. Kevin Business, get everything going. And then once I've got that going, friends, it doesn't work that way, does it? We can't suddenly do that switch over to something else. It's not who we are. It's not in our reality. And when you do that, a whole lot of other things would fall out of alignment. It just doesn't work. So that's why it's so important to dig into what are your values for the future person of yourself. And then looking at what it is, how is that different to how I'm living my life right now? What am I doing in my life? When I've got the values of friends and things like this, and yet I'm spending my time doing other stuff, what's happening? There's not an alignment there. It's not going to happen. The friends aren't going to come about when I'm not spending time with them. The business isn't going to happen if I'm not spending time on it. The fun isn't going to happen if I'm not putting time into it. And so as I can see that now, seeing those values that I want to have in my future, I can start to live that right now. So I'd really encourage you, just take 5 minutes. It does not take long to go through and write down, what are my values? So the way that I'm living my life right now, right here today, write down a list. Today, this is how I'm living my life. The values that I'm writing down. List them all down and number them in order afterwards. But think about it, rather than what you want to be doing right now. The first one is, how are you living your life right now? What is it? If somebody looked in on your life, if somebody was looking at what you're doing, what would they see as your values being? And write that down as now. And then write another list, listing out all the values of the person that you want to be. How you want to be behaving. What things you would like to be important in your life in the future. And once you've got those two, start compare. So order them all, 1 to 10, and look at least the top 5 of them. What are the most important things? See what those differences are. And then start figuring out, looking at that list, put it down somewhere that you can keep it and refer back to it. And come back to it each day. I want to be living my alignment with that future person. I want to be doing things in alignment with that future person. So that when I'm living in alignment with that, when I'm living like fun is at the top of my list, having a great time, having special fun times going out, doing things with friends, going to the beach, going to activities, going to concerts, having lots of fun. If that's one of the things that's really important to me, which it is, I need to be living in alignment with that, not waiting for it to happen sometime in the future. I need to be living in alignment with it now. And it doesn't need to cost a whole lot of money. There's so many things that I can do without spending money to go and do those. It's looking at those, what is important in my future? What do I want to have in that life? What are those values? What's the way that I want to live it? And putting that list somewhere which you can refer to, see it daily, take action with it daily. That's it for today. Looking forward to seeing you guys on another call very shortly. Have a great day.